United States submarine base at Key West, Florida. A dispatch that quoted President Truman's press secretary, Charles Ross, as saying that President Truman has no knowledge of any secret project by this government that would give substance to the existence of such objects. Ross also said that both the Air Force and the Navy deny that such objects exist.
Okay, hey, hi.
Hi. I got caught. I had something that I was gonna say, and then I got caught up in Cora's breathing, and then I couldn't.
Is it loud? Should I put her in the bedroom?
No, leave it. Leave her here. I will say though, what I was gonna say is that I had my Fitbit watch pop up, and it said I only have 5 steps left to go to my goal. And I was like, I can do that. But if it would have said like I have 25 steps towards my goal, I wouldn't have done it. And I think that's why I am
the way
where
that you
I
are.
am. Yeah, just not the way that I am, because that is the way I am, but why I am where I am. Because most of my goals are easily obtainable, but they are just 20 steps too far.
That's Chelsea, and all of her goals are just 20 steps too far. Hey, what's up? My name is Noelle, and I got back home from vacation, and my dad did that thing where he forgets that I haven't eaten meat for like 20 years, and is like, I left some pizza in the fridge for you. Forgot you don't eat meat or cheese, but I guess you could just like pick that all off, right?
The age-old just pick it off. Like someone will make like a chicken soup, and they're like, just pick it out. Like it's saturated in there now.
Yeah, it's cooked inside. The main ingredient is the meat and cheese. Yeah. So yeah, that's me. Hi, what's up? I'm Noelle.
I love that. My dad, every time, you're allowed to eat eggs. You eat eggs, right? Every time. It's like, that's mostly my dad's question for me.
It reminds me of, I don't know if you've seen those videos where girls will like be recording talking to their dad, and they show a picture and they start talking about this friend that they had growing up, and the dad's like, yeah, I remember him. And then they show the phone, and it's like Lindsay Lohan. And they're just like reciting stories from like, you know, Mean Girls or whatever.
I have to try that with my dad. He remembers basically one friend, and it's my friend Tabitha. And she does support the podcast, so hi Tabs.
Shout out.
He only fucking remembers Tabitha. Like without context, he only remembers Tabitha. He'll remember my other friends with context. If I'm like, hey, me and Noelle, and he'll kind of give me that look, and I'm like, podcast Noelle. She did the brain cosplay thing. He goes, oh yeah. Or I'll be like, Ichabod did roller derby. He has the cats. My dad's like, yeah.
Yeah.
That's my dad. But I'm curious.
To get the hits.
Yeah, I'm curious. I'm going to show my dad a picture of Christina Ricci and see if he thinks it's you. Because she's also an alternative girl with bangs.
You can't be like, you can't try to confuse them. You got to go left field. You've got to pick out a picture of Paris Hilton and then like recite a story that's from like a movie and pretend like it's your life, and then see if he bites. So let me know about that.
I'll say one of my friends said that they saw you at Walmart. Did you see her? She said she waved, and then I'll just send him a picture of Paris Hilton.
Yeah, please.
I'll do it right now.
Holy shit. So anyway, we're jumping on the true crime train today. A little bit of true crime and a little bit of music. I feel like this is appropriate after coming back from a music festival where I was fighting for my life every day.
Yeah, I was actually, I don't even know how I knew about this. I think I heard about it, not in conspiracy news. I think I just tripped on it one day like a crack in the sidewalk.
There actually is a piece of conspiracy that goes in with this. I didn't write it in here, so remind me to bring it up towards the end. But I actually didn't really know anything about this at all. If I'm being completely transparent, I thought that Dimebag Darrell of Pantera died of like an overdose or something. I thought it was something kind of 80s metal, not true crime. I was a little I was like, whoa, what the fuck? Really? This happened? And also a little kind of like, I don't know. It feels like something that would be in the zeitgeist. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And we don't talk about it a lot. So I figured, let's talk about it.
Yeah, let's do it. I think my first thing was an interview with this old lady, which I feel like is the only appropriate term. If you look at her, she would be his old lady.
That's true.
And I think that's how she described herself, was just like, yeah, they got him. I think that was like my first introduction. But I don't know. I know no details and I know no conspiracy. So I'm excited to learn a little bit more about Pantera today.
Yeah, let's do it. So we're going to first start off with the Abbott brothers. The Abbott brothers were the sons of Jerry Abbott, a country music producer, but you may know these brothers as Vinnie Paul and Darrell Lance.
I don't know. I don't know that. Are they in Pantera?
Yes.
Okay.
The drummer and the guitarist, Dimebag Darrell and Vinnie Paul.
Okay.
Their parents divorced after 17 years of marriage, but remained super civil. The boys lived with their mom, Carolyn, and received nothing but support in their musical endeavors from both parents. Before he could even play an instrument, Darrell, remember Dimebag Darrell? Mm-hmm. I call him Darrell this because we're acquaintances now, okay?
Yeah, we know him.
Before he could even play an instrument, Darrell would be seen reenacting live performances in his bedroom mirror with Kiss lead guitarist Ace the Spaceman's iconic makeup on.
Dude, Ace was my favorite too.
He's the man.
Yeah, my sister is super into Kiss.
Dude, who wasn't? I
still am.
I still am for sure.
Dude, I love the glamour of Kiss, and I think they're great.
Me as well.
We'll forget about their disco phase. We don't need to fucking talk about that today.
I still kind of liked it, honestly.
That's okay. You were in the desert for a while, so we're going to let you adjust.
Thanks.
For 2 days.
I appreciate it. Darrell's 12th birthday would be a milestone for the brothers as he received a Les Paul style Hohner along with a pig-nose amp and never put it down from that day forward. His older brother Vinnie had been playing the drums for a few years prior to his younger brother picking up an instrument. Darrell had attempted to play the drums with his brother, but Vinnie said, quote, "I just got better than him and wouldn't let him play them anymore."
That's your brother thing. You suck, so your band. Learn something else.
You suck, so stop. The boys were also, how could I forget this part? The boys' dad, Jerry, would learn Kiss songs on guitar and teach Darrell how to play them. I can't stress enough how, Darrell specifically was, fucking obsessed with Kiss and, truly the reason why he picked up an instrument in the first place. I also love the idea of, his dad. You never hear stories about musicians whose parents fully fucking supported them. It's always a Johnny Cash and a boy named Sue. My dad made fun of me and that's why I do this. You know what I mean? Or it's some shitty Britney Spears, child slave labor.
This is just wholesome and sweet.
Wholesome. His dad learned songs, came home to teach him, not because he wanted him to become some big rock star, because he loved his son, he knew his son loved Kiss, and he wanted to have this bonding moment with him. It's so fucking precious to me.
That is sweet. And it's impressive, too, that the dad was learning the songs to specifically.
Yeah, well, the dad was a really famous music producer for country music.
Yeah, you said that. It's less impressive then.
Yeah, I mean, it's still cute. Yeah. The boys were also able to tap into some of their dad's connections, rolling into the studio with him from time to time, snagging lessons from country musicians like Bugs Henderson. The first cohesive jam session consisted... the brothers, their first cohesive jam session consisted of 6 hours nonstop of playing "Smoke on the Water" by Deep Purple.
I think that's the first. My sister dated a dude, and he taught me how to play the opening to that, which isn't impressive. It's just dun, dun. It's very simple. I think, the first 2 chords.
But it's just every typical jam session.
Yeah,
right?
I'm really resonating with this story. Am I gonna get murdered?
Your heart is going to hurt.
So. Fuck.
Vinnie would later note that the moment they began playing music together, the two were beyond inseparable.
That's sweet.
And
also sad knowing how it ends. Ugh.
Yeah. Also, I truly can't, I 100%, these two, you know how siblings, especially in celebrity or in music, there's always some sort of riff that happens? Mm-hmm. Never these two. Thick as thieves. It's
also weird too, because I think you can relate that sometimes you see siblings who are fucking joined at the hip BFFs. I didn't have that relationship with my sisters. I had a good relationship with my sisters, but I once hung out with a girl who saw her sister and they held hands at Lagoon, and I thought that was weird.
That is weird.
But they were just
holding
best
hands
friends
with your sibling.
They were fucking skipping like they were on the yellow brick road, man, just holding hands. Like they so enjoyed each other's company. And I remember like, that's fucking weird to me.
Yeah. I mean, I could see, I think there's like a level of like just loving your siblings, but then there's like when they shared such a deep love and appreciation of music, and not just music in general, but playing it with each other and playing off of each other, that I think it just like catapulted them into this like other level of almost that twin thing where people, they talk without talking. You know what I mean? So I definitely get that vibes from the both of them, and nothing in the history would say anything different. At age 14, Darrell entered a guitar contest at the Agora Ballroom in Dallas. Being too young to technically compete, his mom had to sign waivers and join him during the competition. Despite being the youngest to ever compete, he absolutely dominated and won the entire competition. Before his 16th birthday, Darrell would go on to win so many local guitar contests that he was asked to no longer compete but help judge so that others could have the chance to win.
Imagine getting absolutely dog walked by someone, by Dimebag Darrell as a child.
By 14-year-old Dimebag Darrell.
So bad that they don't let him compete anymore, but he turns around and just judges you. Like, hey man, just keep practicing and in a couple of years you'll get it. And you're looking at this kid who just hit puberty last week. Oh,
also, how precious, like his just southern belle of a mom bringing her child to a guitar contest. Just like, oh yeah, let me sign the waivers. Like, go on, honey. Like, it's so many levels of precious and wholesome and genuine good family upbringings for these two boys. I absolutely love it for them.
It's cute. Fucking adorable, man.
So let's talk about Pantera, because Pantera is just as young and old as these kids. Pantera formed in Arlington, Texas in 1981. Vinnie was asked to join a band alongside his high school classmate, Terry Glaze, who would then play guitar, Tommy Bradford bass, and Donnie Hart vocals. Vinnie accepted the invitation, but on the condition that his younger brother Darrell would also join.
Yeah, his mom said that he had to bring him. Bring him, brother.
Terry Glaze later recalled that they were unsure about this request, as Darrell was, quote, not very good.
Bruh.
Well, at this time, he wasn't that good.
Okay.
2 years their junior, and, quote, was a little skinny, scrawny dude. But which is funny when you look at Dimebag later.
Yeah.
But they ultimately agreed. The band was originally named Gemini.
It's terrible.
I kind of like Gemini.
I fucking hate it, and I hate what they also call themselves later.
Well, this is the problem, is like, we're going to talk about it in a second, but like Pantera was going to be glam metal. They were going to be like high-pitched voice men in makeup. So Gemini fucking hits, baby. That hits.
Yeah, that does. It wouldn't have worked for what Pantera became.
But in the beginning, don't get it twisted. It fucking clicked.
I'm a little twisted.
Well, get untwisted.
I'm a
because
curly
then
pasta.
they also chose Eternity.
I hate that too. It reminds me of the Swan Princess, the theme song Eternity. That's what that reminds me of. That's all I hear whenever someone says Eternity, just by itself.
Still ethereal and beautiful, though. But they eventually settled on, as we all know them, Pantera. Just a little fun fact here. In 1989, so 8 years later, Darrell would make a similar request, like the one that his brother made for him. Dave Mustaine asked him to join a little band called Megadeth. Dave had already recruited drummer Nick Menza and wanted Darrell, but would not bring on Vinnie, Darrell's brother, as drums had already been filled. And because of this, Darrell stayed with Pantera.
Aww.
Isn't that fun?
I don't know if I know that kind of loyalty in my life.
Right? Also Megadeth, but also Pantera. It's tough.
Oh, fuck. Can you hear that? I'm getting a call.
That?
My sister, I think I got caught trying to trick my dad into taking my friend.
Oh my god. Oh man, I wish he would have just texted you back rather than have your
said-
sister call.
No, he said cute, but nope. And then he said, you suck. And my sister immediately called me. So I think he showed my sister to ask her, and she fucking tattletales.
But she was like, that's Paris Hilton. God, tell her to not be a snitch. Tell her not to be a snitch.
I found the best photo too. I said I got it up for Facebook.
It's Paris Hilton in a pink tracksuit holding a chihuahua. Classic. Oh, shit. Tell your sister not be a fucking snitch. Okay. Anyway. So, reversing back in time. By 1982, Donnie Hart, the original vocalist, left the band and was replaced by Terry Glaze, the former guitar, on vocals, while new member Rex Brown took Tommy Bradford's place as bassist. So just a little, everyone kind of did a little swoop, switchy-doo. Darrell originally shared lead guitar with Terry Glaze, but soon took permanent status as lead guitar. Glaze said Darrell just morphed over a 6-month period. When he came out, he could play like Eruption and Crazy Train. So Darrell went from like being that scrawny little brother who could play like 3 chords to absolutely shredding in 6 months. So
yeah, that's insane.
Bit of a child prodigy, if you will. Darrell adopted the stage name Diamond Darrell in reference to the Kiss song Black Diamond and to give a nod to the glam metal inspo they wanted to take.
That's cute. I like that. I do cute. Like, Diamond Darrell. It's cute. Reminds me of Diamond Dallas Page. Also cute.
Diamond Darrell is cute, but Dimebag Darrell is where it's at.
Yeah.
Pantera originally headed out into the world expecting to find themselves in the hair or glam metal genre, following the likes of Kiss, Van Halen, and Judas Priest, and quickly became an underground favorite. Despite this, their glam rock era never really took them beyond Texas, Oklahoma, and Louisiana. The band began supporting fellow heavy glam metal acts such as Stryper, Dokken, and Quiet Riot. Pantera released their first studio album, Metal Magic, in 1983 when Darrell was just 16.
It's insane.
Telling you, child prodigy. Metal Magic was released on the band's independent record label that they created and formed, of the same name, Metal Magic, and was produced by Darrell and Vinnie's father, Jerry Abbott. So another shout out to Most Supportive Dad in the World award.
Seriously, and country music. He's like, yeah, I could do metal.
Yeah, but glam metal. It's
you're right. You're right.
In 1984, Pantera released their second studio album, Projects in the Jungle. Although still very much a glam metal album, the band members crafted songs that had less overbearing melodic influences than songs from the previous album. Another change was Terry Glaze's name, as he was henceforth credited as Terrence Lee. In addition, a music video for the album's lead track, All Over Tonight, was eventually created.
Dude, Terrence Lee sounds like the first name, and Terry Glaze sounds like it should be the metal name. That's backwards.
Also, like Glaze, you're going to get rid of Glaze? That's a cool last name.
That's the best kind of donut, man.
That's what I'm saying. Projects in the Jungle was also released on the band's independent Metal Magic Records label and produced by none other than the boys' dad, Jerry Abbott. In 1985, Pantera released their third studio album titled I Am the Night. As with Projects in the Jungle, album before, this album saw Pantera's sound becoming heavier, although still rooted in glam metal, and the heavy metal press took more notice of the band because of this. But because of poor distribution, I Am the Night turned out to be a costly album to many fans. Around 25,000 copies of the album were sold. Pantera's second music video was produced for the track Hot and Heavy. In 1986, this would be a turning point for the band and a defining moment for a new genre. I also want to say here that I'm not sure if I mention it, but all these previous albums, up until the one that came out in 1990 that I'll talk about in a second, the band, their glam rock, the band got rid of them. They're almost impossible to find. Very hard to find. They no longer took credit for them.
Oh, that's a bummer.
Keep that in mind.
Embrace it.
I mean, it's. I'll say it in a second.
But you can't have. I'll say it. You can't have Panteras without the predecessors of. You got to respect your roots a little bit. A little bit.
I agree, but when you become a genre-defying, it's It's fine. So, the years 1986 and 1987 saw the release of several landmark thrash metal albums that would prove influential to Pantera's developing music style. Among the most prominent of these were Metallica's Master of Puppets, Slayer's Rain and Blood, Anthrax's Among the Living, and Megadeth's Peace Sells, But Who's Buying? Original vocalist Jerry Glaze's glam metal approach didn't fit the band's developing style, and he and the other members parted ways.
Oh, so he was the hairspray of the group, we'll say.
He was absolutely there. He was the hairspray and lipstick of the group, and they were like, we can't do it. After a few trial runs and fails, 18-year-old NOLA native Phil Anselmo, I'll never, heard Pantera was looking for a new singer, tried out, and was hired on the spot. When Phil joined the band, he would bring his mixtapes with him and play bands like Slayer and Rigor Mortis to the other members. Together, this new version of Pantera would release 1988's Power Metal. Power Metal, like the three previous albums, was released by their indie record label that they made themselves, Metal Magic Records, but came with a change in their sound. By far the band's heaviest shit at this point. Phil's vocals had more grit to them, the music was becoming less glam and more thrash. At a band meeting, Vinnie said in reference to the band's spandex appearance, quote, "These magic clothes don't play music. We do. Let's just go out there and be comfortable. Jeans, t-shirt, whatever, and see where it goes."
What a fucking powerful moment, too. It's just like in Space Jam. It's like, it wasn't magic juice. It was water. Magic was in you all along. That's what they found out. It's not.
It's true. It absolutely. It was never the spandex. It was never the glitter. It was never the lipstick and the face paint, baby. It was always you guys.
Yeah. Hell yeah.
The band would later drop their independent releases, like I mentioned before, including Power Metal, as the dawn of Pantera as we know them formed. We can say that Power Metal was the test drive to what Pantera would carve out as groove metal with their iconic, genre-defining, major label debut in 1990 with Cowboys from Hell. And I think this is the album that most people know Pantera for. Mm-hmm. And the band would go on to put out Vulgar Display of Power in 92, Far Beyond Driven in 94, The Great Southern Trendkill in 96, Official Live 101 Proof 97, Reinventing the Steel in 2000, with worldwide tours, Billboard Hot 100s, Grammy nomination, a guest spot on an episode of SpongeBob.
Cute.
It's so cute. And of course, a lead singer struggle with addiction. The band would eventually break up in 2003. The breakup, like most, was fucking messy. The band was forced on hiatus after the attacks on 9/11.
That's weird. I didn't think that you would have ended that they had a messy breakup with struggles of addiction and tie it into 9/11. You really got me on that one.
Well, the addiction was the lead singer, so it's not really the brothers. No, I don't really want to talk about him too much.
Right.
He had back problems and like even wrote songs. Like there's a song called "I'm Broken," and it's literally just a song about him having chronic back problems, and his opiate addiction from the back problems then turned into obviously a heroin addiction. He had an overdose in 94 after the third album. After like their major label albums, not including the ones that they did independently, where he was like brought back with Narcan, you know, kind of that like, I don't want to say typical, but a typical 80s metal band shit. But my story isn't about the lead singer.
It's about 9/11. Oh,
and 9/11. Well, 9/11 actually ties into why, or the reasoning behind the breakup of the band a few times. So they were like, essentially like they were on edge, right? In 2001, right before the attacks happened, they were already on edge of like staying together. Yeah. And when the attacks happened, they were stranded in Dublin for weeks because no flights were coming back to the US, and they had to all like be stuck with each other for the first time, really, without playing shows, without having to go. Like literally, when I say forced together, I mean like they're stuck in a room together in a country that they're not from. They were not. It was not a good time.
Yeah, I don't want to like shit on anyone's trauma, but you were like in Ireland, dude. It probably wasn't that bad, but
if you're like already falling
if you
apart,
hate them,
yeah.
Actually, you can kind of relate to this. I'm going to keep it as vague as possible. But when you're on a trip with someone you don't like, it becomes fucking terrible.
I was 24 hours in that situation, and I was ready to call it quits. I couldn't imagine being stuck in there for weeks.
Yeah,
while a national terrorist attack is happening.
And because your partner is listening to this, I just want to let him know. I'm speaking directly to him now. We're not talking about Coachella.
Yeah, he knows it's not about him. He knows who we're talking about. So they played their last show in Yokohama, Japan at the Beast Feast Festival on August 28th, 2001. Mm-hmm. And like literally that was the last time Pantera was together. The band planned to release its fourth home video in summer of 2002 and record another studio album later that year, but neither came about. Phil, the lead singer, was finding himself on multiple side projects and other bands. Vinnie Paul claimed that Phil told him that he would take a year off following the events of September 11th.
Still gooped about September 11th affecting the band this hard.
Dude, so many... You know that the only reason why My Chemical Romance is even in existence is because Gerard Way was so fucked up about 9/11 that he created My Chem to write songs about, like, being depressed because of it?
Dude, no.
What? Oh my God.
I didn't know that. I have not heard that.
So, literally, this is crazy to say. Without 9/11, there would be no My Chemical Romance, and I'm saying that for real.
I bet I could make, like, a similar draw. Like, I bet I could say, like, without 9/11, like, my family would be intact. I could make that draw if I really wanted to go for a stretch.
These are words from Gerard Way's mouth himself.
Yeah, no, I'm just surprised. I don't want to say that 9/11 wasn't traumatizing to these poor people because I too was alive during 9/11.
Yeah.
I just wonder, I'm just surprised. I'm surprised.
I think you should think about it more of like these guys were traveling and on planes a lot and they didn't feel comfortable getting on a plane right after 9/11.
I am fucking empathize with, even to this day.
Yeah, I think that's what it's peace and love. I don't think Phil was like, I'm so affected by the war in Afghanistan now that I can't play music. I think he was like, I'm fucking scared shitless to get on a fucking plane.
Yeah, that makes more sense. Okay.
Okay.
I'll buy that.
But despite this, Chelsea, Phil's touring and recording output for his two other bands, Superjoint Ritual and Down, contradicted this.
Phil, you fuck. Don't blame 9/11.
I know. That's what I'm saying, Phil. Phil, you blame 9/11. And it was never 9/11. It was always you. God.
I'm going to blame Phil from now on.
Yeah, we should.
It's fucking Phil.
Phil is my 9/11, honestly. But it all
he was going through it right now, though. Wasn't he struggling with a heroin addiction? Maybe we shouldn't laugh at him too hard.
They all were. Still, don't blame 9/11, Phil. God.
Yeah, Phil. Fucking Phil. Blame my heroin addiction on Phil. Just 9/11. I'm so gooped, Phil.
He blames his heroin addiction on 9/11, and they were like, you've been addicted to heroin for 10 years, Phil.
Phil, you're lying to yourself.
He's like, but I felt it. I knew it was going to happen. So anyway, the Abbott brothers were frustrated naturally, but they held out for a period of time.
They know what loyalty is.
Yeah, they do. They assumed that Phil would return.
From the rubble of 9/11, Phil would just pop out. It's like a little weed.
Oh my God. Oh, fuck. It would be one thing if Phil was like, I'm going to ground zero, I'm going to help with the rescue efforts. But Phil was like locked up in his penthouse in LA and he's like, I'm scared to get on plane.
He wasn't even in America when 9/11 happened. Like, you were not the target at that point, Phil.
He felt like he
Philip, you fucking nerd.
Oh my god. According to Phil, once again a liar, taking a break from Pantera was, quote, a mutual thing between each of the band members. Surprise? It was not. The Abbott brothers officially disbanded Pantera in November of 2003. They concluded that Phil had abandoned them and would not return.
That is fucking Phil. That is so heartbreaking.
I know, they literally were like waiting. They were just like making riffs, writing lyrics. Like, Phil will come around, man. He said he would. He fucking said he would. He said 9/11 scared him, though. So
What the fuck is Phil up to?
Oh my god.
He's still going.
Yeah, unfortunately. And guess who's not? The Abbott brothers. So Phil is my 9/11.
He's the owner of Housecore Records. Who's fucking signed to Housecore Records because they're dead to me too. No one I've heard of. Makes
Good.
me feel better.
Good. I hope he makes $5 a month.
God, I hope so.
The end of the band started a war of words between the former bandmates, aka the Abbott brothers, versus Phil, via the press. There was some stuff in here that I chose to leave out because it was all, it's like not cute. Phil went on a metal magazine, said some bullshit about Dimebag, specifically that someone needs to like beat the fucking shit out of him, like beat him to death. And conspiracy theorists would later use this article as reason as to why things happened later on. But Vinnie, Darrell's brother, came out later after being given the recording of the interview, because Phil was like, this was, and they used this like shitty fucking quote as like the cover quote of the magazine. And everyone was like, whoa, what the fuck? And, you know, Phil was like, dude, like, I didn't fucking say this, is so out of context, like, blah, blah, blah. But everyone was like, bro, Phil, you blamed 9/11 for why Pantera broke up, even though it was just you, so no one believes you.
I don't fucking like Phil, man.
I
feel
know.
like we need to put out merch against Phil.
Fuck
Phil's a
Phil.
Stupid fuck. Fuck
I
Phil.
agree.
Succinct, and we'll just have his face on it, but instead of eyes, it will be anuses.
But the Twin Towers behind. Oh shit.
Just and then on the back, like, don't blame 9/11, blame heroin.
Yeah, exactly.
No context. It's just a wildly offensive shirt. No matter who looks
so
at it.
wildly offensive.
Oh my god.
Oh my god.
I feel like putting the Twin Towers on things is like taking it to the level.
Have you fucking seen that guy on TikTok who is he has, I need you to pick up the context clues I'm about to say right now.
Okay.
He has an obsession and collection with knitted sweaters.
I don't know who that is.
Do you understand the type of person who might have an obsession like this? Maybe they also have an obsession with trains. Do you see what I'm saying?
Uh-huh.
Or like they know every state capital and president. Do you know what I'm saying? The type of person
I say
they have a. It's not. I wouldn't say it's a disability because I think it makes them gifted in some ways.
Okay.
But they have, you know, they might get a plaque on the car to park in a certain spot. Do you know what I'm talking about? Do you know these people?
Yeah.
They're great. Love them. The backbone of society. So there's this guy, and he has an obsession with sweaters, and he just so happened to, like, yeah, he just so happened, like, I would say,
9/11 sweater.
wait, like April of 2001, he was gifted a Twin Towers knitted sweater. And he wears it all the time. He's like, I know this might seem inappropriate, but I really like this sweater, and I got it before 9/11.
You have to retire it, buddy. You gotta retire it.
No, I say wear it because never forget, dog. You know what he never does? He never forgets. So anyway, look him up.
He might not be able to remember. Like, he might have issues with. He may have
no,
a TBI,
he remembers. He remembers.
Yeah, because he has a sweater to remind him.
Check him out, though. He's tight. But anyway, so like...
Yeah, I'm typing you a message that's not appropriate to say out loud.
Phil said this bullshit. It was like really fucking mean, horrible shit.
Yeah.
I think the sun makes it look questionable. I think there's a sun in the knitted.
And it looks like it's...
Look, I'll send it to you.
Mm-hmm.
So anyway, Phil was saying this bullshit. But like years later, Vinny got a hold of the recording and was like, nope, Phil was actually right. This was totally misquoted. So I didn't want to put it in here because it's like, it's crush drama, but know that like the shit that he said was so fucking egregious about Dimebag that like people use it as a reason as to why shit happened the way it did
I wanna
later
know
on.
what it was.
The violence that happened.
I want to fucking know what it was. I want to know what he said.
He literally said someone needs to beat the fucking shit out of him. Like to death. Dimebag.
It's insane.
So, yeah. But if you think a band breaking up would take the Abbott brothers out of playing music, you clearly haven't been paying fucking attention. Enter the scene, a band called Damageplan. But before we dive into the brothers' new music adventure, I need to introduce you to someone else. Enter Nathan Gale. Nathan Gale was born on September 11th, 1979.
Bro.
I know, it's all connected. The synchronicities don't stop here. In Marysville, Ohio. He was a wrestler in high school and studied construction and electrical work. He lived with his mom after graduation, working a variety of minimum wage jobs and developing a bit of a substance abuse problem.
Because Nathan, of his birthday.
Yeah, in the future, he knew something was going to happen. Nathan often complained of being watched and stalked by people who weren't there.
He's gang stalked. They could have been there.
But his mom, Mary Clark, just said this was probably due to his drug use. Friends of Nathan would say this was previous to his drug use, like throughout elementary school, middle school, like all growing up, he was like not well.
Okay, so he's just born a little touched.
Well, you'll find out what he has in a second. Nathan because baby 9/11 comes back, I'll tell you what. Nathan ended up getting violent with his mom, resulting in an arrest, him being kicked out, and him panhandling on the street. He was allowed back into the home after going through rehab. His criminal record wasn't anything crazy, some trespassing charges, skateboarding, and an alleged theft at work.
Yeah, it's not that bad.
After the 9/11 attacks, Nathan, like 181,510 other Americans, joined the active duty military.
Dude.
He chose to enlist in the Marine Corps.
And you know what? I bet he fucking thrived.
Yep. Baby, wait. Give me 2 seconds.
I didn't even read ahead. I just feel like he thrived.
Don't read ahead. Don't read ahead.
I won't.
As a gift for... I need you to remember this sentence. As a gift for completing basic training, his mom would give him a Beretta pistol as a Christmas present.
Dude, I don't... His mom's fucking dumb. If someone beats you up... Yeah, if someone beats you up, you don't give them a gun.
Yeah, also, if your son is like, hey, Mom, people are watching me constantly, and I can't sleep because I think people are watching me, and then she's like, but where? And he points and there's nothing. I wouldn't be like, here you go, baby, here's a gun.
Yeah, make sure you put the ghost bullets in it, though.
Fuck. He was stationed in North Carolina with the 2nd Marine Division until November 2003. Less than halfway through the typical 4-year enlistment period, he had been discharged due to a paranoid schizophrenia diagnosis.
So he didn't thrive. He got discharged. Okay.
Yep.
I thought he would do great, honestly.
I mean, he would have if he kept the medication and treatment. They were willing to keep him.
Of course
in
they
the
fucking
military
were.
If he just kept medication and going to therapy. But he didn't. And also, it was never the drugs. It was always schizophrenia, Mom.
I just want to say, too, my sister mentioned this. She was in the Army, though, around this time. She served with someone who had full-on epilepsy. And it's not saying anything against paranoid schizophrenia or epilepsy. But I don't know why they let debilitating type of disorders like that into the fucking military. What if you're out in the middle of nowhere and you don't have access to your medication? I thought you had to get screened for that stuff so that you're not a danger to yourself and or others. If you're like this fucking guy, who we know isn't going to do anything good in his future, he hasn't done anything good in his past. Dr. Phil says, the best indicator of future behavior is present and past behavior. Fucking Dr. Phil. quote that from a doctor.
Hate that you just quoted Dr.
I don't know why I remember that. I think
Yeah, you've got a mental problem.
But you know what? Soon we're going to have the same doctoral accolades. His doctorate means nothing, and mine soon in cryptozoology will mean nothing. And I hope
that is true. You both will have pretend degrees.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So he was discharged. He returned with medication, but he declined additional treatment after returning home. Typical. After his discharge, the Department of Veteran Affairs found him a job as a mechanic, and he informed his employer of his condition. They were like, that's fine, you're cool, whatever.
Yeah, it seems fine.
Standing 6'3" and weighing 266 pounds, Nate decided to take up boxing and football after his discharge.
Well, he's going to become a little more dangerous. Oh, this guy fucking looks like he looks how he sounds.
He's a brick shit house. Nothing like a little traumatic brain injury to add to your schizophrenia. That always helps.
This guy looks like he fucking sucks.
He does, dude. He does. He's the worst dude I know.
God.
He joined the Lima Thunder, a semi-professional football team in Northwest Ohio, as an offensive lineman, and would listen to Pantera before games. He was a lifelong fan of heavy metal and became obsessed with Pantera when he was in high school and remained an avid fan. Nate's former friend, Dave Johnson, recounted a story of Nate showing up at a mutual friend's house with written-out Pantera lyrics that he claimed were his own. Nate asserted that Pantera had stolen lyrics from him and were attempting to steal his identity. Nate's friends began to distance themselves from him as his behavior became increasingly erratic. Once, he told his former friend Mark Brake that God was asking him to kill Marilyn Manson.
I mean, that's just a standard ass from God at this point.
I gotta go. I know. I was like, which honestly, after
that's fine. Man, how would you describe what Nathan Gale looks like? Because I have a very particular description.
He looks like, the bully from Back to the Future? He looks like him, but on more steroids.
So my impression, and I knew this kid. I've known kids like this growing up, and I've known kids like this in the comic store. He looks like he wears sweatpants. And I want to say, let me add the story. He looks like he wears oversized sweatpants specifically because he doesn't know how to fucking poop, and he doesn't know how to fucking wipe, so he has to wear the sweatpants to hide the smell and the stainage that comes through his pants. And I know specific people. That's what he fucking looks like. He looks like a person who wears sweatpants to hide the fact that he shits his pants.
You're so right.
I did.
You're 100%.
And and he also just, I don't like how his eyebrow hangs over his eyes so much.
I don't like anything about him, when we're real. But yeah, he absolutely is a man who wears oversized sweatpants because he doesn't know how to wipe his own ass. You're so right about that. So others noted that he would talk and laugh to himself, would pretend to hold and pet an imaginary dog, and he would often bother customers at the tattoo shop across the street from his apartment that he lived in alone. He would just sit and stare at them, at clients, just through the window, just stare.
Yeah.
Or would argue with them about heavy metal music.
Yeah, we all know this type of person who just argues with you about music. Yeah. Name every song.
Yeah. Then what's your favorite album? So let's get back to Damageplan.
Okay.
Darrell was quoted saying the end of Pantera was like having everything he had worked for ripped out from under him. The brothers knew trying to continue Pantera without Phil would just result in years of bullshit litigation. Once again, fuck Phil. Vinnie and Darrell started Damageplan. Originally named Newfound Power, they decided to do a little swap for the names. So they decided to stick with Damageplan for the name of the band and giving the first album the name of Newfound Power, which came out with a fairly modest release on February 10th, 2004. The band planned to tour most of that year, hoping to rebuild its fan base. The tour was pretty par for the course, except for an incident on April 8th when a Pantera fan named Nathan Gale...
Dude, fucking nerd.
interrupted a Damageplan performance in Cincinnati, jumping onto the stage and causing $1,800 worth of damage to lighting and stage equipment. Damageplan decided not to press charges because they didn't want to interrupt the tour to come back for court.
True professionals.
Right? But guitarist Patrick Lickman yelled on stage at the time, quote, "I'd like to introduce you to the fifth member of the fucking band."
They handled it like rock stars. This guy's
Absolutely.
a fucking nerd, though. Like, it's just he's the kid who plays tag at recess the whole fucking time, and then he gets tagged, and then he doesn't want to play anymore. That's this fucking guy.
Yeah, he's the worst dude you know. He's the worst dude you know.
Oh my god.
And I wish that was the only connection Nate had to the band. This silly, weird instance where he tussled with cops at a Damageplan show and ended with a funny quote. But unfortunately, that's not why we're here. See, Nate wasn't there as a fan. Nate was out of his mind. He took Pantera's split as a personal attack on himself. His delusions, mixed with his obsession, became fucking lethal. On
Dude,
December
yeah.
8th, what?
I just fucking hate. I keep looking at his face, and if you turn it sideways, his eyebrows go over his eyes so much, and if you turn him sideways, he just look like a butt crack. I don't know what to do. I have to minimize this picture.
He is a butt crack. Don't look at him. That's like
I'm trying to stop.
Bad omen.
Well, he's staring at me through his like little anus face. I don't know what to do. I have to close the picture.
Yeah,
I sent it to you
of
in a message though, and I can't.
I don't want to see it. I don't want to see him.
Fucking sorry. It's there now. I don't know. I can't get rid of it.
He's gonna become a fucking tulpa. So.
Oh no! Don't everybody stop thinking about it. Think about 9/11.
Think about Phil being a piece of fucking shit. Oh man. Okay. So it's about to get not fun, and I'm sorry, everyone. On December 8th, 2004, Damageplan was playing a show at the Alarosa Villa nightclub in Columbus, Ohio. Nate drove out to the show that night, circled the parking lot for hours, asking security multiple times if Dime and Vinnie were on the tour bus or inside. At 10:15 p.m., Nathan jumped over a wooden fence between him and the side entrance of the club. Nathan started running as soon as he jumped the fence because he saw that security who saw him jump the fucking fence were now following him. Damageplan was just taking the stage when Nathan went straight up to the middle of it. Remember, he's a big-ass 6'3", almost 300-pound linebacker. He was up to the front within a moment, bulldozing people out of his way. Before security could even reach him, he pulled out that Beretta 9mm pistol his mom gifted him, grabbed Darrell in a headlock, and fired 2 direct shots into the back of his head and 3 to his body. Dimebag fell forward onto the floor. Stagehand Aaron Hulk and security guard Jeff Thompson were also fatally shot as they attempted to rush the stage and take Nate out with a wooden table. Nathan Bray, a fan in the crowd, was trying to administer CPR to Darrell when he stopped and looked towards Nathan Gale and said, "What the fuck, dude?" He was then also fatally shot. Nathan fired a total of 15 shots, taking time to reload every single one, remaining silent throughout the shooting.
It's fucking terrible. Like, the closeness, too. Like, I feel like in America specifically, we're so used to gun violence because it's just usually someone firing into a crowd. But there's also another particular amount of horror where it's, like, literally hands-on, right? Like, he had him in a headlock and was just in there.
Yeah.
And the fact that he bulldozed his way up, there was no element of surprise here in the sense that, like, they wouldn't know that there was something fucked up going on. And you have to think that they recognized him from the last show. So they're like, oh, here's this fucking guy again. So they had to have been on edge at least a little bit. And then to see your brother taken out, like, right in front of you, like when you've been best friends your whole life, I can't even imagine.
And I think there's a level of, like, people rush the stage even now to, like, stage dive and shit like this. Mm-hmm. I will say, after the murder of Dimebag, the culture around, like, jumping off the stage and all that shit at metal shows just kind of, like, stopped altogether. What was his name? There's a really famous fucking singer, and he was like, after this, he was like, get the fuck off the stage. I don't fucking care if you're a fan. Get the fuck off the stage. Like, don't come anywhere near. But there's that level of like, maybe they recognized him from the other show incident, or maybe they were just like, here comes a fucking crazy fan going to do a fucking stage dive, you know?
Yeah.
Also, the thing that gets me is like when Dimebag fell forward and he was instantly pronounced dead, but that one fan trying to give him CPR and like knowing it's not working, and then just looking up and seeing the dude who just did it and just being like, what the fuck? And then as that last word leaves your mouth, you get hit with a fucking fatal bullet. It's nightmare shit. It's absolutely nightmare shit. It's those one-on-one situations. It's that targeted, looking you dead in the eye before they fucking take you out. That's just next level dark.
Yeah. I think I did hear about the person. I want to say it was like Lamb of God who wouldn't let people rush the stage anymore.
Rollins, dude, Henry Rollins. Henry Rollins was the guy I was talking about that after this, he was like, get the fuck off the stage. Police officer James, I'm not even going to pronounce his last name, entered through a back door holding a 12-gauge shotgun.
I wanted you to say his last name, but I understand why you didn't.
It has the N-word in it, so I'm not.
I was wondering. I was like, what the fuck? How is she going to get around this? You're not even allowed to say it. No, that's good. I'm glad you didn't. I was hoping you wouldn't. I don't want to say I was excited to hear it. I was just curious how you were going to approach it.
Yeah, just not do it. Yeah. Look it up if you want to know. He stepped out from behind Vinnie's drums and fired a shot at Nathan, killing him instantly.
I mean, good job, dude, but that was just a little too late. Like,
you want to know the crazy thing is, like, so this cop, he had to go on trial for using deadly force.
Are you serious?
Yeah, he was. They didn't charge him, and he was like given awards and shit. Even America's Most Wanted, he was on like their contenders for like Hero of the Year or something like that.
Yeah.
And he deserved it, but it was so crazy that he had to go on trial for it, for what I would say is one of the very few justified police killings.
I know. I'm almost like, I'm curious how he didn't fire off a shot sooner. It all had to have happened so fucking fast.
It happened so quick, and he was like reacting as fast as he could.
Yeah. As a cop, I would think your reaction would be faster than the general public, but also like that's just, you just don't expect that shit ever.
I'm also not sure if he was inside the venue. He was outside the venue. He was
entered through a back door. I see.
Yeah.
He shot him with a 12 gauge too.
Yeah.
Dude, I bet he turned him into a canoe.
That's the only thing that brings me peace, is knowing that, like, you know, Nathan turned around. Because at this point, I left this out of here, but Nathan had a hostage at this point. He was like grappling with someone, and the hostage moved to the side for a split second, and that's when the cop took his shot with that 12 gauge.
And they put him on trial. That's insane. Like, you get a justified shooting, finally.
Yeah, because everyone was like, if that cop hadn't taken that shot at that time, who's to say how many other victims there would have been?
I'd like to imagine that he shot it from like the fucking hip, and he said something.
Yeah,
like,
right between his legs, like it was his dick, and he was just like,
"See you in hell."
Yeah,
fucking nerd. And then
I dream about that. I dream that fucking Nathan looked that cop in the eye, looked the barrel of that shotgun in the eye, and then had his fucking brains blown the fuck out through the back of his head.
And peed his pants, but no one could tell because he was wearing oversized sweatpants.
Yeah, he was wearing a jersey when this happened.
Of course he was. Oh my god, he was one of those dudes who wore a jersey with jean pants, which like just out and about. And I don't know why I don't like that aesthetic, but I just don't.
Yeah, he's a piece of shit.
Okay, yeah.
I
hate him.
He killed him. Good. In total, 5 people died and 2 people were left wounded. Mary Clark, Nathan's mom, said, quote, "Nothing I say about him is going to erase what happened in the end. I'm sorry for what happened, and I'm sorry for those people who were killed, but I lost a son too."
Yeah, no
I fucking
shit,
hate
Mary.
that quote.
It would have been fine. It would have been fine if she left off, but I lost a son too.
Fuck your son, dude. Fuck your son.
At that point,
if you hadn't lost him, I would have hoped that you would.
At that point, you just got to fucking take the W and be like, I'm so sorry for what happened. I know my sorries will erase it. I mean, she was lucky that he, I'm not going to count him losing as a loss. But yeah, take the L.
Yeah.
and just be like, if she would have left off, but I lost a son too. Like, what were you losing, Mary?
A murderer? Fuck
Like-
you, Mary.
A kid who was violent and shitty?
Yeah, that your son who beat the shit out of you and then took the gun that you gave him and killed a bunch of people. Fuck your son, and fuck you too, Mary. If you're still
fuck
alive,
you, Mary.
fuck you, Mary.
Let's Google it.
She's
Mary.
probably not. If she is, fuck you, Mary. Someone to send this to her. Fuck your son, Mary. Fuck you, you little bitch ass hoe. Fuck yo shit. Fuck yo shit, Mary. But anyway, after the shooting,
Dude, she might be alive.
let's fucking find her. No, just kidding.
'Cause he was only 25 when he died, and that was 17 years ago. She's
Yeah.
so alive. She's alive. She has
Someone
to be
tell
alive.
her, Mary Clark, suck my ass, you pussy ass bitch. Fuck your son. I wish he would come back alive just so he could get killed again, and you would relive that purgatory over and over.
Yeah, and his genes clearly weren't good. I don't want to like make fun of anyone, but
Well, I
he looks.
will.
He doesn't look right, Mary.
Yeah, she probably looks busted as
Yeah,
fuck.
you probably stood in front of the microwave a little too long when he was cooking. You know what I'm saying?
Put her head in it and turned it off. Oh, shit. So anyway, we can make fun of her because she defended her murderer son who killed Dimebag Darrell, so fuck her.
Yeah.
I hope she's in a retirement home and no one visits her. After the shooting, police officers found 2 handwritten notes inside of Nate's apartment. One read, quote, "You'll see, come alive. I'll take your life and make it mine. This is my life. I'm gone. Get me." The other read, "You'll see the sky fall. I'll make pigs fly. Come on and give me some. Come on, give me some. Do it and die. Do it and die." So clearly he was not a poet. I don't know why he thought Pantera was stealing his lyrics when he can't even write.
This is just, yeah. I know the thing that's like frustrating is everyone knows this guy. Everyone knows this kid. And they're always like weirdly violent and they get mad and you have to tread carefully. Everybody knows this guy.
I feel like he also abused animals. I just like get that vibe. He
I feel
wet
like-
the bed and he abused
Yeah.
animals.
I don't get that like he tortured animals, but I get that like he would get mad and then kick the dog to like reclaim masculinity. Like that's the vibe I get from him.
Animals.
And then I also get like the vibe that he like threw rocks at cats, but I don't get like that he lit
Yeah.
fires. I think he's too dumb to understand.
Yeah, he doesn't know how to
concept
light a
of fire.
fire. Yeah,
Yeah.
I agree with you. You're so right about that. He definitely
Yeah.
threw rocks at cats, but couldn't get a match to light for sure.
Yeah, like he would try to do it in the wind, and then he would get mad, and then like go shadow box a tree.
Yeah.
I don't understand. What an idiot.
So true. An autopsy performed by the Franklin County Coroner's Office found no trace of drugs in Nate's system, prescription or otherwise, showing that he was and had been completely unmedicated for his schizophrenia. Dimebag Darrell was buried in Arlington, Texas, next to his mom, in a casket gifted by Gene Simmons. The casket adorned with the band Kiss. At his funeral, Eddie Van Halen laid his signature black and yellow striped guitar in Darrell's casket to be buried with him, stating, "Dime was an original, and only an original deserves the original."
Gave me goosebumps, bitch.
I know it.
It's good.
One of the first artists to create a musical tribute to Darrell was Black Label Society, whose music video for In the River depicts singer Zakk Wylde and Dimebag as children attempting to swim across the river, while Wylde survives, Dime does not. Typo Negative, who were close friends with Darrell, waited until 2007 to release the track Halloween in Heaven off of the album Dead Again. Peter Steele told MTV, quote, "I didn't want to exploit Darrell's name because it was just too soon after his death." Other tribute songs include Dimes in Heaven by Brides of Destruction and Dimebag by Cross Canadian Ragweed, while the 2005 album 10,000 Fists by Disturbed, Life's Blood for the Downtrodden by Crowbar, and Start a War by Static X were all dedicated to Dimebag Darrell's memory. Dimebag was 38 when he was killed, and it seems as though Damageplan died along with him. Vinnie joined the band Hell Yeah and performed until his death in 2018.
Dude, just what happened to their dad? Just he's alive and lonely?
I don't know. I don't know if he died or not, but
It's so fucking sad.
yeah.
Pure
And that
tragedy.
is the murder of Pantera's Dimebag Darrell.
Dude, and all for nothing, man. Someone who could have, and the thing that's extra shitty is him having issues up into the military. Sad. After the military, he had the means to be medicated and be treated, and he just chose not to. And essentially, his mom, actually, not even essentially, his mom literally gave him a loaded gun so that he could go off and cause mayhem.
His mom literally gave him a loaded gun, and then his mom also enabled him by not admitting and like supporting his health after he was given a diagnosis. I think that is a big red flag as well. I don't blame parents in shootings or things like this, but when it's such a blaring red flag of just lack of accountability where this mom could have stepped up and not only saved her son but saved other people as well, I hope that she doesn't get a good night of sleep ever because she carries the weight of this.
And I will say their father definitely still carries the weight of it because Jerry Abbott is still alive. He is 80 years old.
Wow.
Actually, he just had a birthday, April 8th.
Oh, happy birthday. He was a good dad. He was a good dude.
Yeah. And his whole family's dead.
Yep. All of them. It's one of those, mental illness is not your fault, but it is your responsibility.
Yep.
And the fact that both Nate and his mom didn't want to take responsibility or accountability, I blame them heavily for what happened. And by heavily, I mean almost exclusively.
Yeah, absolutely.
So, yeah.
All because of 9/11.
Literally, though. So many ties to 9/11. But yeah, I still think Phil is a fucking asshole. I know that after Dimebag's death, he tried to come out and mend a lot of bridges with Vinnie, and I think Vinnie accepted a lot of apologies, but guess what I won't do? Accept those. No. So, fuck you, Phil.
Yeah, that's not Vinnie's weight. That's not his burden to carry, Some things you just can't lift on your own, and Vinnie couldn't carry all that shit, so he had to put something down, and he put Phil down. But Phil, I'm strong, and I'm petty, and I can be mad forever, and I
will die mad. I will die mad. I'm every single day is a beautiful day to wake up and be a fucking hater. And I will always wake up and choose to hate Phil.
Yeah, same.
So.
Oh my God, I'm getting so many merch ideas. So every day is a beautiful day to wake up and be a hater. Fuck you, Phil. Like, I'll die mad. Oh my God, hold on, let me open this up. Good thing this is all recorded.
I was like,
how am I ever going to remember this?
Every day is a beautiful day to wake up and be a hater. Because I say that like every day.
Yeah,
I think I even tweeted it the other day. Like, God, I hope Ty said he's going to listen to this episode because he's super into it. But like, there's this girl who like breaks her ankles to like comment on all of his shit. And I was like, who's her? And he was like, literally no one, chill. And I was like, you know what?
Who is she?
I can't chill because guess what I do? I wake up every day and I choose to be a hater. I wake up and I choose it. I drink it like with orange juice. I take it down like a fucking vitamin C pill in the morning. That is my multivitamin.
I put it in my goblet and I fucking drink it until I'm drunk.
I fucking hater, baby. I'm so sick of toxic positivity. I'm so fucking sick of that. Fuck the era of toxic positivity. Fuck being positive. It's time to be a full-blown fucking hater. We are fully entering our villain eras. This is the hater arc.
Dude, I was thinking about that earlier. Like, I was walking Puffin yesterday, and I was just like, it started with, like, if a hobo jumps out and attacks me, I'm gonna have to fucking fight him. But then those violent thoughts went through on people that I just have beef with in real life. And I was like, should I get over this shit? This happened years ago.
No.
And part of me was like, fuck no. I'm not going to, because if I would have let shit go, then my ancestors and my lineage would have died in the caves, man. Well, we're going to fucking think saber-toothed cats are cute? You would have wiped out my entire bloodline. No,
You're
bitch.
so right about that.
You want to know what I've been doing? I've been fucking sharpening my spear, and I'm getting ready to go into battle. I have a spear and an arrow, and I'm going to fuck you up.
Bro, I feel you. I'm sharpening my sword. I was fucking walking down the stairs, okay? I was walking down the stairs. I ordered very expensive
Oh, you went to battle today. You did.
Oh, my God. I ordered very fucking expensive vegan food from a very expensive vegan place. But I was like, baby, you deserve it. You just got out of the desert where you were eating crackers and dirt. Like, you deserve it. So I finally did it. I'm walking down the stairs. I see my DoorDash bag on, like, right in front of the door. I'm walking down.
I bet the sun was hitting it perfectly.
Probably. It was
Fucking
glittering.
illuminated
There
it.
were bubbles. There was, like, angels, like, singing in the background.
Yeah.
A crackhead walks by, looks at the bag, looks at me. We make eye contact. I say out loud, "Don't you dare, you motherfucker." And he grabs it and runs. And he takes the fuck off like Usain motherfucking Bolt. So then here I am in my Birkenstocks. I flip those bitches off and I'm running. I'm out the door. I'm a few paces behind him, like, "You fucking dropped that food right now, you motherfucker!" And we're like down 2 blocks. Literally, I'm sprinting my ass
I can't believe
off.
you got outrun by a crackhead.
He jumped a fence, and that's where I draw the line.
Yeah.
he jumped a fence and went behind some, like, peace and love right now. I'm about to get a little, like, problematic. He went behind this, like, these storage containers that's like a homeless camp, and I was like, it's about to be me versus, like, 12 crackheads.
I imagine you kicking off your flip-flops like Matt Riddle in WWE, and I'm going to show what I mean, because I refuse to believe it was anything else.
It was like a cartoon.
Yeah.
And then I immediately was like, I can't go back into their tent camp and be like, "Give me my fucking mac and cheese." So I went back and walk of shame back up to the apartment. And
With no
Ty
shoes
was like,
on.
No shoes. Ty was half asleep on the couch. He has the audacity to go, "Where's your food?"
Oh.
And I go, and I'm out of breath, dude. I'm out of breath. And I'm like, "A crackhead."
You got to slit his throat, yeah.
"A crackhead took it. A crackhead took it. I chased him." Yeah, that's exactly how I fucking both my feet went straight out in front of me, and I just starfished, and they went off, and I took off.
I don't want to add insult to injury, but we've had a bet going on with your partner for a while that you can sprint for like 10 miles. But if you can't outrun a crackhead, I think you need to train just a little bit more. So you can
was getting close out, but he jumped the fence. What, behind like the fucking commune of them? What am I gonna do? I'm gonna go get jumped?
Yeah, you're
mac
right.
And cheese?
No, you're right. You're right. When you're right, you're right.
If he was out there with me, maybe we could have taken them all.
Yeah, yeah. Ty's got long ass legs. He slept through when you needed him the most.
I've got to blame him for this somehow.
You can blame him. That's fine.
Anyway, and I remember this crackhead's face. It's burned into my fucking irises, So, and every day I wake up a hater. Every day I wake up and I go, if I see that, I'm jumping out of my car and I'm jumping him. I'm gonna jump this man. I'm gonna jump him.
You just let me know.
Okay, deal.
You point him out.
And also, everyone here, if you find out that I jumped a crackhead, you shut your fucking snitch ass mouth. You shut your fucking snitch ass mouth. You didn't hear nothing. You didn't see nothing. You didn't say nothing.
Yeah, you want to know who will fucking tattletale? Phil
Your sister?
No. Yeah, fucking Becca. That's exactly what happened. He was like, "Who's her friend?" And then immediately, like, what a fucking snitch.
I know it, dude.
I'm gonna have to cut her.
You should.
I'm gonna have to slice her ass up.
You should. Between ASAP Rocky getting snitched on by someone in his crew, I just know that, these motherfuckers out here with loose lips. So,
dude,
be a real one. Be a real one, everyone listening right now. Be a fucking real one.
I can't. Ooh, fucking. Phil was dumb, but you gotta be dumb to cheat on, like, pregnant Rihanna.
Oh,
That's
not
all
even
I'll
cheating.
say.
Not even cheating, dude. He just got arrested yesterday because
for shooting.
Yeah, for one of his fucking friends and his crew fucking snitched on him.
I thought we were talking about. I saw that before we started recording. I thought you were talking about him cheating.
Rihanna's about to give birth any day, and
he's having a bad day.
Yeah, I know. But anyway, speaking of bad days, one way that you can not have a bad day is to go to the link tree in any of our bios. I'm at Noelle Fain. That's at Sithlard or at Go to Hell Podcast, where you can get links to our merch, where we still have the Protect Trans Kids shirt going up, where 100% of the proceeds go to helping bring awareness to anti-trans legislation so we can help fight it, know what's happening, and protect these fucking kids from all these weird-ass fucking Republican senators.
Yeah, you gotta stop worrying about genitalia of children, my dudes.
That's what I'm fucking saying.
So weird.
So you can get that. You can get our wanted apostate enemy of the state new design. You can also in that Linktree bio find links to Kelly Holloran or Wild Wood Owl on Etsy, her Etsy page with our stickers, pin, bandana, and of course her cool fucking merch and art that she does unrelated to us. It is just genuinely cool. You can also find a link to our Patreon. $1 gets you in. Secret special episodes every week. Don't fucking tell anyone what you hear on that shit. I'll cut you myself. That'll come for free. You won't even have to pay for that. You can also find links to our Discord, our private Facebook group, our Twitter account, and places to fucking listen to us, which shouldn't be a problem since you're listening to us right now. But anyway, check all that shit out. And today, like all day, and most importantly, hail Satan.
Yeah, hail Dimebag. Hail
Also,
brothers.
Hail Dimebag. Hail the Abbott brothers. True homies till the end, man.
Yeah, and hail their good-ass parents.
Hail their good parents, and fuck Phil.
Yeah, fuck you, Phil. I'm gonna think of a way to say fuck you, Phil. Or
Okay.
like blaming 9/11 is for cucks or something on this episode. We'll talk about it.
So out of context, you're just like, hello, what? What?
It was like, this is a Pantera episode. What in the world? I wanted to be as taken by surprise as I was when you brought up 9/11 in the middle of the thing.
It happened a few times.
Lord
Trust
have
me,
mercy.
I was just as surprised.
We
Okay.
gotta, yeah, all right.
Bye.
All right, we'll talk. Bye.